Hi and welcome to my September review. It's a very important month for you Librans this month because there's a lot of work that needs to be put in behind the scenes, a lot of work that needs to be done working on yourself, and this is a time when you will benefit greatly from doing this work, because next month when we see the sun in your sign, then that's when things will start to come to fruition. But for this month we have a total of 6 planets retrograde, so it's working behind the scenes. It's doing stuff now that will benefit you later. Now, we start the month with the aspect we finished last month. It's Mars making an aspect to Jupiter, and this gave us impetus to get on and do things. And now Mercury makes an aspect to these two. So this continues this thread. So it's time to get things sorted immediately, because Mercury will go retrograde on the 10th. And when Mercury is retrograde in your first house, it's time to, as we said, work behind the scenes. Now, Mercury is about communication and how we interact with others. The first house is about our persona and how we present ourselves. So changes can be made now with how we present ourselves and how we interact with the world and what face we actually show the world. So start work on this now. Later on this month we have a new moon in your sign as well. So there's another example there of how you can change things according to your personality and your makeup. On the 6th we have a positive aspect between the Sun and the Moon's North Node. Now the North Node is in the 8th house, the Sun is in the 12th house. So this is again as things that are going on behind the scenes. It's a great time to use your intuition and increase your perception of things, and to look at things in another way. Try and see beyond the what's on the surface. Then the other aspect is between the Sun and the Black Moon Lilith. Now this is one you need to be careful of, because the Black Moon's in your 10th house. This is the house of reputation. This is the public side of you. So you need to be very careful, because the Black Moon can entice you and take you down into dark avenues, so to speak. And it may easily be led astray with this aspect. So just be wary and keep your public face. On the 10th we have a magical full moon. The full moon's in Pisces, and it's full of mystery. Also it's very compassionate, a very sensitive full moon, so you'll be able to deal with others in a very compassionate way. It's also in your 6th house. This is the house of daily routines, so you'll want to bring the more spiritual side into your daily routines, and you'll want to make changes as well, because the 6th house full moon is always about changing your diet, your exercise, or some part of yourself that you're not happy with anymore. Also we have on the 11th an aspect from the Sun to Uranus, so you want a bit more excitement injected into your daily routines as well. And this is a good time to look at the occult, because Uranus is in that 8th house. So anything to do with the spiritual side, with the mystical side, like astrology, it's a good time to look into that sort of thing right now. On the 16th, someone in your daily life may need some help and some compassion, as we have Sun making an opposition to Neptune in that 6th house. The other thing we have is an aspect between Mars and Chiron. Chiron's in that 7th house, so it's an ideal opportunity to help others overcome their past hurts or their wounds. And also we have Mars making an aspect to Venus, so it's a very good time to get balance within your relationships. And also with all this going on, it's not a good time to make those decisions yet. With Neptune opposite the Sun in that 6th house, we spoke about making all those changes. Put them on hold, because there'll be some confusion and maybe things won't be clear on this day. Let this aspect pass before you progress. On the 18th there's an aspect between the Sun and Pluto. Now Pluto's in the 4th house of the home, so it's now time to make some transformations, make some changes, either to the home physically or to how you are around the home. And maybe that you need to make this space a lot better place for yourself. There's also an aspect between Venus and the Black Moon Lilith. Now you need to here be careful, because again the Black Moon Lilith can lead you down the wrong path, But with Venus, it's a time for a little bit more excitement, maybe some romance, but also with the Black Moon being in your career, maybe a little mini rebirth that's happening here that will help you to maybe decide which direction you want to go in, maybe a change of heart. Then on the 19th, Uranus is active, making 2 aspects, again to Venus and again to the Black Moon Lilith. So here again we have an injection of excitement, things that you want to do, things that you want to change. Also, fear will start to drift away. Any limitations that hold you back will slowly drift away. It'll help you to go in the direction that you need to go. On the 25th, we have our new moon. Now the sun has just moved into your sign of Libra, so this is a very important new moon for you Librans. Especially if you're in the first 10 degrees of Libra, or 10 days. It's going to be really important because it's time now to reinvent yourself. This aspect will last for the whole year. And it's time to work on yourself and with yourself to make life better, to improve yourself as much as possible. This is a lot of development that's going to happen over the next year. Now, we also, with the moon in this position, are looking at what differences you can make. How can you effectively interact with others? How can you get others on your side? Because the first house is about your persona and what you present to other people. And this is very important. So you need to make sure now that you have time to work on yourself and your presentation, maybe time to change your hair or your dress style so that you get noticed and so that people will be drawn towards you. There's a burst of Mars energy on the 26th as he makes a positive aspect to Saturn. Now Mars is in that 9th house. This is a time to learn something new. It's also a time to plan an adventure or something that's exciting. You've got 5 days to work with this, and it's a good time to enhance your skills. Now with Saturn in that 5th house, it's a good time to relieve any blockages that are stopping your creativity, because Saturn is retrograde, and working with this now will stand you in good stead later on. Now, 2 other aspects. There's an opposition between the Sun and Jupiter. Jupiter's in that 7th house. So it's a good time now, because you'll be buoyant and upbeat and positive, to engage with someone else and maybe start a new project together, or it could be that you work in a partnership with someone else, maybe a business partnership. But also it could be good for your relationship as well, because there's a certain amount of optimism and positive energy around. Now the other aspect is between Venus and Mercury. Now there's a bit of a blockage here because Mercury is still retrograde, so it may be difficult to express your desires and what you want, but just bear in mind that Mercury will soon be going direct. We finish September on the 30th with Mercury making opposition to Neptune. Now Neptune's in the 6th house, Mercury's in that 12th house, so dreams can be very important, messages, signs coming through. This is not a time to be thinking on the mundane. This is a time when your imagination, your psychic side will be very much activated. It's not a good time to make any important decisions or to sign any documents. With this mystical, magical side, there's also a chance to bring the spiritual side forward as well. And meditation, any form of relaxation will help you on this day. And then we look forward to October, where we have 3 planets going direct, one of those being Mercury, and we also have a very intense eclipse in Scorpio, so tune in for next month.